Hi, my name is Rick Ireton. I'd like to welcome you to ChakraKey Academy. We have a most important school here, a basic education for everybody, basically. Because the reality is, we're a family of human spiritual beings, and that is, we're both physical animal and we're spiritual beings. But the reality is, we're spiritual beings and we have these really nice bodies. But the two are in competition all the time for what's being fed, basically. There's a saying, where your attention goes, your energy flows, and it's like a plant. If you've got two flowers and you water one of the flowers all the time, that one tends to grow where the other one doesn't grow so well. So we grow where our attention goes, and being that we live in the physical world, we tend to focus all of our time and energy on the physical stuff. And as we'll see, that ultimately our goal is to be aware of physical, but it's kind of our putty for consciousness, and that we're able to transcend the physical, and then we're able to be this creative expression of everything around us. So in order for us to be fully optimized, to do the best we can in life, to manage our life, we need to understand everything. Just like if you're a potter, you need to understand your clay. You don't want it too soft or too hard. And so there's a mastery involved. And that's the way it is for us about life. There's a mastery of life, because ultimately life is art. And the art of life that we produce is relative to our understanding of the medium. And we are the medium. The body is the medium. And our physicality is the stage. And so as spiritual beings, when we understand the body, we understand the medium, and we understand the universal laws of nature that we're operating through, we're able to operate at a whole nother level. And that's where we're going. This is our school. And the symbols in back of me, I found these symbols that help us understand our human spiritual design. In that we are an engineered species. Our Creator made us so that two entities could coexist within one physicality and be this beautiful expression of physical and of spiritual. We're this magic beings. And so what I'm going to do right now is just to kind of introduce you to the symbols I found, and from there kind of go through that a little bit. But know that each symbol carries all this information. It's all really important that we understand ourselves from this new dimension of reality of who we are. So I want to begin briefly with how I found the symbols. And the story begins, I'm researching the meaning of love. So I'm just looking into what's this idea about love. And by my nature, I'm an inventor, creative sort of guy. And so I'm looking into love, and about 6 years into my study, quite a while, I get into the chakras because I relate to the idea that love comes from the heart. Thought that's true. And so at the time, and this is represented by the guy sitting right here. This is our basic chakra system. We're made with a spectrum of color, as the masters have given us this testimony of being able to see into their chakras. And then I noticed that there were 7 chakras, and then that there were 7 branches on your basic menorah, your early menorah, and you turn the menorah sideways, and what I noticed was it appears that the branches map the interrelationships of the chakras. And it turns out these branches give us a picture, in essence, of it's like a diagram of the interconnections between our chakras. And our Creator is so smart, knowing that we would need to bring balance to each of our core energetic centers. And in essence, our core chakras have to do with, primarily, we want to survive. We have this primary drive for survival. We like sex, reproduction, creativity. Sacral chakra, solar plexus has to do with our drive for power. Because if we're to survive on Earth, we need to have a measure of power. We need to multiply and create and expand our population. So light beings from other places would come to Earth, this beautiful place, and to be able to enjoy this wonderful home we have here. And so there's a natural drive system for our lower physicality. But then it also shows that we have this wonderful heart chakra that everything connects to. And then, so we have our lower conscious in essence, and then we have our higher conscience. And the higher conscience has to do with our throat chakra, which has to do with our conscience, universal laws of nature, golden rule, and the golden shows how the throat chakra governs our solar plex. So our drive for power would be tempered by our conscience, so that we would understand that there's repercussions for everything we do. We are this energetic masters, and that we live in a world of cause and effect. And so we need to be so careful about the cause we put into the world, because it creates an effect. And so to be a master of life, we're mastering the effects that we create in essence. So the other connection that's important is this connection between the brow chakra to the sacral chakra, which has to do with our brow chakra, has to do with being able to see within, to see without. It's our command center. It's our center of intuition. And knowing the power of the sacral chakra, I mean, how powerful is our sacral? Some people just live for pleasure. And while we're here to enjoy pleasure, it's one of those areas that can overfeed, give them too much attention. And so there's a need to bring the sacral into balance. And we bring it into balance with big picture thinking as we receive from the brow chakra. Really beautiful thing. And then we have a connection between our crown chakra, which is like our spiritual antenna, connects us to the divine, connects us to universal consciousness. And this connects to our root chakra. So it's like our cell phone, you know, it's going to the transmitters in the sky, and then it enables us to connect, to be part of this universal consciousness. But there's all kinds of benefits from this root to crown connection. So there's a lot more information and benefits between these chakras that too much to go into in this sitting right here. Because I want to introduce this other symbol that's so beautiful, shown right here. And shown here is a crop circle, this lower right hand. Had it made into a piece of art. And this is more of a close-up of that piece of art. But what this shows us that's novel, that's new, that's so important for us, is that within our design is a system designed so that we would be able to perform analysis through each of our chakras, all the chakras, everywhere we go. We're performing full analysis regarding our survivability. Do I have water? My pleasure, is it too hot or too cold? My power, is somebody going to hurt me? You know, so we do all this analysis everywhere we go. We don't think about it, but we're doing it. And so we have this lower chakra analysis happening. And so this analysis meets higher consciousness, where we're considering about, okay, what's our conscience say about how we respond to a particular issue? We can see the big picture. We have our connection. So in essence, what we are, this design shows, is that we're a walking expression of our current level of consciousness. And energetically, when we're running from the lion, for instance, energetically, we take on the red color of the root chakra. And so the root chakra energy is coming out of the heart. So we become a red color. So we take on the color of our consciousness. And so much information here within these symbols. And it's something that it gives us a path to study. So we're not talking about dogma here. This is something that is all experiential. And in the next video coming up, I'll play some frequencies, and you'll be able to actually feel each of your chakras. You can feel it somewhat like an appendage. So the reality is, for human spiritual beings, we have this beautiful energetic design. And while a computer is important, really it's the software that's operating the computer that's so important. And it's important that we would have a accurate understanding of how we're made, our native programming, of how we respond to one another, and that we are honorable. We're here as honorable brothers and sisters, and that we are made in such a way as when we honor one another, and we honor things that we come up against in life, that returns this honorable energy, and that what we, as avatars, in essence, we are the avatars. We're able to master life. And this is our goal for all of us, is to master life from a higher perspective, knowing the fullness of who we are as divine beings. Thank you for tuning in. Beautiful study. Look forward to talking with you again. God bless.